The Church of Mabus.
I'm stoked. I'm ready. This is awesome.
M Central. They listen to 107.7 New Orleans and 105.3 Henderson Point, Mississippi. Tonight's show is brought to you by Jim Oliver Smokehouse Restaurant and Lodge in Monteagle, Tennessee. Order online at www.thesmokehouse.com, offering a large variety of all-natural, old-fashioned jams, jellies, barbecue sauces, and smoke country meats. That's www.thesmokehouse.com. Promo code is live on the site. Enter UPRN to save 10% off your online purchase. And I had two books I need to plug real quick. I forgot to do it last week. Both of these books are by, this is Minotaur Books, and let me see, Thomas Dunn Book, St. Martin's Press. One's called Only Ever You by Rebecca Drake. It's a thriller. The other one's The Advocate's Daughter, a thriller by Anthony Franze, Franze. Check out Minotaur Books and always Thomas Dunn Books and St. Martin's Press. They have a bunch of those Walking Dead books there, too. Good horror stuff. These are thrillers. Thriller night. I know one thing, man. It's hot in Florida, and I hate it. I have to turn the air on. I'm camped up under the window AC, and I don't like it. It's already in the 80s, and I hate it. I need to go back to Nosferatu weather. I don't think we're going to have any more cold. We might get a surprise, something or another, but I doubt it. Well, we got Jay with us. What's up, Jay?
Good evening. What's going on?
Nothing much. Same old, same old. Just before the break, I was discussing I need to go to the doctor because I might have the diabetes bug.
Yeah, I got the pre-diabetes bug. I got to lose 50 pounds and stop eating pasta, rice, and potatoes. 3 things I love.
They said you have to quit eating all that?
All 3 of those, yeah. Not just one, all of them. And not slow down, but stop.
What about sugar?
He didn't mention anything about sugar. He just said stop eating potatoes, rice, and pasta. That's the only 3 things he mentioned. And to lose 50 pounds.
Because you have diabetes?
Pre-diabetes.
Oh. Well, I thought sugar had something to do with that.
I don't know. He didn't say you should stop sugar, so I haven't.
I've just been feeling weird and weak, and I don't know. Something's going on. Getting old. It's called 41.
Yeah, wait till you get 50. I'm hitting 50 this year, and shit's falling off of me. Sorry about that. Shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Gotta watch the words.
All righty. All right, well, let's get to our guest. Jamie Songer and Derek Fortuny. This is Cinema La Funk film discussion. We're going to be discussing movies and TV. Well, just movies, I believe. We might get the TV stuff. I don't know. How's it going, guys? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
It's going great.
Going good.
Just making sure no one got hung up on this Skype technology. All night, Pal Talk's been, we use Pal Talk to, everybody's in a chat room right now, and it was going down right before the show, so I didn't know if it was going to come back up, so I was calling Joe and called Stephanie, and like 30 minutes before the show, and you don't even know what's going on with Pal Talk, but it seems to be back up right now. But they will be sifted and slayed and punished at Pal Talk. But nonetheless, guys, I guess Jamie first and then Derek, tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll get into some movie discussion.
Okay. Just always been, a movie buff, TV buff. pretty much as far back as I can remember. You know, ever since I got the first VHS tapes, and it's been since then just nonstop. And you know, I tend to veer towards horror and, you know, genre films, and so that's usually what I'm, you know, spending most of my time on.
All right, Derek.
Yeah, hello, weirdos. My name is Derek Fortuny. Same thing. I have a serious media problem. I digest way too much. Usually when I tell people what to watch, it's, you know, there's a lot. There's a lot out there to watch. It's certainly, right now, we're in an embarrassment of riches in all media forms, and like I said, I watch too much. I don't even know how this conversation is going to go, because it could very quickly get out of control, Jeff. You know, we've had these discussions before.
How many shows did you tell me that you watched last night? Like 30 or something?
Yeah, I think I'm watching about 30 scripted shows right now, actively.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's dedication.
I'm probably doing about 10, 15, something like that. But
that's not bad. I mean, that's impressive.
There's that new channel. You guys have Viceland. I've been watching that new channel that's on cable. It's that whole Vice show that came on HBO. They have a whole channel now. A lot of good stuff on it.
I'm starting to get wary of it, though, because, you know, the guy Shane Smith that owns it, he sold out a large proportion of his shares of it to Rupert Murdoch, head of Fox. So I'm starting to wonder how viable and neutral the Vice brand is going to be.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Now you ruined it.
I know. I'm sorry. There'll probably be more conspiracy theories on Vice now, so if that helps you out, Jeff.
And gaycation's gone. Only reason I was like, should I even put this on my DVR? I'm watching it, but I like Ellen Page a lot. She's hot, and I'll watch it because Ellen Page is on it, but I don't know. I'm heterosexual. I don't know if I should be watching this. I guess.
Yeah, Ellen Page definitely is.
Every time I see Ellen Page, I think of her having lesbian sex.
Yeah, I find her very, very sexually confusing as well.
Well, I just watched Spotlight today, and I liked it, but I wasn't even sure what it was about when I watched it. So I was like, oh, man, priest, pedophile movie. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I liked it. But it was those kind of movies are kind of hard for me to get through, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
I mean, the way I looked at it, Jeff, as long as you watched the movie without touching your swimsuit area, you were fine.
Did not do that, luckily. But that chick from True Detective was in it, so I was like, dang, she's hot. That's the chick from True Detective, that chick. I can't remember her name, but that hot chick. You know the one.
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah. She was in the second season of True Detective, so I remember her from that. And, of course, anything with Michael Keaton, I'm down. But, yeah, that's a true story, right? It's completely true, right? And it won an award, right?
Yeah, it won Best Picture at the Oscars this year.
Okay, Best Picture. Then what did Shortcut win?
Shortcut? You mean The Big Short?
Yeah, I always mess up the title for some reason. What did The Big Short win?
The Big Short did not win any major awards other than Best Director at the Oscars this year. Adam McKay went home. Or no, it didn't win Best Director. It won Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah, Best
Director went to Inarritu for The Revenant.
Nice. So, what do you think about no African Americans being represented?
I think it's a little bit of a red herring. I mean, especially given the choices that were out there. I certainly don't think it was a major slight against, Will Smith. I mean, I certainly didn't think it was a breathtaking performance in Concussion. he was a little bit butthurt about it, but I don't think it had that much to do with him being black.
Yeah, just wasn't any. I don't know. Was there any movies that they just didn't look at all that were really good? Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, I mean that was a fair. I mean, I guess somebody could argue that as oversight. What do you think, James?
I don't know. I mean, Straight Outta Compton, it's kind of one of those movies that's like almost a Lifetime biopic. You know what I mean? It had a lot of good stuff about it, but it also had this really strong edge of just kind of cheesiness to it. So I don't think that it was caliber enough to even be recognized, outside of just wanting to, I guess, pander to a certain audience or something by giving it a nomination.
I 100% agree. I think it was a good token target.
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of good kids. I mean, Ice Cube's kid, he should have gotten an award for the person who looks the most like Ice Cube. I mean, but they didn't have that. That was not an available award in the Oscars. So, what are you going to do?
I heard Will Smith set out of this new Independence Day movie. How dumb is that? Why would you even? I mean, I can't comprehend why you would sit out of a movie like that just because of a money situation. Couldn't have been that terrible for sure.
I think he probably just doesn't need the money at this point. So it's like, why even bother?
That's like one of his biggest movies ever, wasn't it? Independence Day. I mean, that's like a cult classic. You would think he would, just for his image, get back into that one.
Well, that's also when he was doing stuff like that. Like he tends to go more for the more serious, dramatic roles typically. So it's not really something he even does anymore.
I agree. Definitely not his bread and butter these days. I think he wants to, be Denzel, but he's got a hard climb to become Denzel.
Yeah, a long way to go.
Well, what are some big ones that are coming out this year that you guys are looking forward to? I want to see The Witch really bad, but I'm going to have to wait till it comes on DVD or whatever before I can see it. I tried to get a review copy, but I couldn't even figure out how to write that dude. Like at the site, there's not even a contact button there. So, but that same guy, I can't remember his name, but the guy that did The Witch is remaking Nosferatu, which they say The Witch is excellent. So he might do a good job with Nosferatu. I hope so.
Yeah, The Witch looks fantastic. I think we're all waiting for The Witch.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even know where they're playing it around here. I don't go to theaters anyway, but I'll have to wait for it to hit the circuit, so to speak. But not going to theater.
I don't think movies like that come to Florida.
And then I think it's the Temple of Satan. Some say one of those groups is the one that was putting up the statues everywhere in Detroit and upsetting everybody with the statue and stuff. They were doing a tour of that movie too and representing it, The Witch.
Huh.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be doing some other weird medieval movie about a knight or something like that. So, yeah, at least we got some new good talent. But what are you guys excited for that's coming out, new-wise?
I think it's going to be a big year for DC. I think the DC Extended Universe, they kind of finally figured out that they actually have to be somewhat of a contending entity against, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think we're finally going to see some, real DC movies this year. For me, I think that's going to be the most notable.
Well, like Batman, Superman, and what's the other one? The one with the villains?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually put out a trajectory now. I can't remember exactly, but they actually have a mapped out strategy of movie releases. So, I think they're going to be a viable contender. I'm not a big DC guy, but I would like to see better DC movies. And I think that 2016 is going to be the beginning of that, where there's really going to be, and I think it's going to do nothing but good things for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because we're just going to get better movies for that, and maybe less Fantastic Fours, if possible.
Yeah. Well, when's the Justice League come out? That's not this year. That's like next year, I think.
Yeah, I think that's 2017.
Isn't Del Toro involved in that, or was he, or supposed to be?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, those developmental movies. I mean, they got Suicide Squad and Batman versus Superman coming out this year, and next year is going to be Wonder Woman and Justice League, and then after that, Flash, Aquaman. It gets weirder and weirder, but I think in a good way. Eventually, the last thing they have announced that they don't actually have anything planned for is Green Lantern Corps. Unfortunately, David Ayer is going to be heavily involved in that process, and I'm not a fan.
So what do you think, Jamie? What are you excited about? What are you percolating about?
I think probably the thing I'm most excited for right now is Ben Wheatley is a British director who did one of my favorite horror films, like, in the past probably 10, 20 years. It was called Kill List. And he's done a lot of good stuff since then. He did a Field in England, and that one was a little out there, but it was really cool too. But his new movie High Rise with Tom Hiddleston is looking like it's going to be amazing. So I'm really, really excited for that.
That Field in England was bizarre, like weird British Western on mushrooms.
Yeah, it was definitely psychedelic for sure, at least.
What is High Rise supposed to be about? I mean, obviously a building or something, but what's the plot?
Yeah, I mean, it seems a little akin to the kind of basic premise that was behind Snowpiercer, that it's just this high-rise apartment building where the level of the building dictates what class the person is. If it's at the bottom, it's the poorest people. At the top, it's the richest people. And it seems to be some sort of nefarious dealings going on in the background. But I'm not real sure, because the trailer luckily doesn't give a whole lot away. It's just I really like that director a lot, so I'm really excited for it. And it seems like something that's going to be right up my alley, basically. Just nice. The way the cinematography and the way he pushes actors and stuff, I really like his style. So that's definitely top of the heap for me.
Who did Snowpiercer? That was like a gem of a movie. I need to watch that again. I absolutely love that movie, Snowpiercer.
Was that Ki Boon? Or who was that?
Chinese?
Yeah.
It was a Korean director.
Yeah, it's a Korean director. I can never remember all three of his names
I want to say he's
in the right order.
Kim Boon or something like that, or Boon Ki, or...
I need to watch that again. I love that movie. That was... one of you want to describe the plot of that movie for our listeners? I'd like some of the people in the chat room check out Snowpiercer. Who would like to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that one, granted, it's a couple years old now, but that was one of the most surprising movies for me a couple years ago, especially a movie that went under the radar. But it is available on Netflix now. Everybody can watch Snowpiercer, so it's out there for consumption, and it's fantastic. And the director, by the way, is Joon-ho Bong.
And basically it's about like some futuristic train and like some Antarctic frozen planet wasteland, and they're trying to escape, and it's like ran by Ed Harris. He's like the Illuminati. Pretty good. I need to see that one again for sure. Well, let's steer back to the Oscars and stuff. I know you had a list of some. Love Mad Max. So what did that win, Mad Max?
It won almost. Pardon me.
What?
It won 6 Oscars. I don't remember all which, but it did pretty good.
Yeah, it did very well.
Let's let Jay. You got any questions, Jay?
Well, not the moment. No. I was kind of grooving on what everyone was getting psyched about coming out, and there's a lot of good entertainment coming out. Hopefully, anyway. But the question you had earlier about the boycotting of the Oscars and all. The only thing I'd like to say about that is Whoopi Goldberg said it best. She said, if you have a movie with all Asians, all Hispanics, and all blacks, if they're not up to the caliber of the movies that were nominated, they don't deserve to be nominated. And that's the truth of it. If you don't make a movie with an actor of whatever race, if they're not up to the caliber, why should you give them an Oscar? Just because they're in a movie? It's not a participation award. It's an award for outstanding achievement. That's what they're about.
Yes.
And I actually have something to add to that point because, I think that's pretty close to my sentiment, other than the fact that there is, like, some structural racism at play. I totally agree with that sentiment. But the fact is that there are a lot of, old, generationally racist people that, comprise a largesse of the unseen members of the Academy. So, them trying to go the extra mile to, reshape the constituency of that voting block. I mean, hopefully that the plans that they have coming down the pike are going to put more ethnicity into the board members and, get some of the oldest people, the non-participating people in the industry out of voting contention. And maybe somehow that's going to have, the net effect of getting more color into the race, and also, probably more importantly, broadening the spectrum of the type of films that get nominated in the first place. I mean, as far as the biggest thing I see insofar as exclusion on the Academy's part is the exclusion of great films because they don't fit the mold of what the last 20 years has dictated that are Academy-worthy films, and that's my biggest disappointment with, the Academy.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, you're right. There's a lot of old school and bigoted members of it, and then once they die off, maybe a new school will come in. But still, you have to have a quality movie and a quality actor to be nominated. You don't just get one for being in a movie. So eventually, maybe if those bigoted men get out or women get out of that voting community, maybe they'll have some better movies coming in. Because, I mean, Hollywood produces a lot of schlock, a lot of really crappy stuff. And it's just horrible. And you go to movies nowadays, even if it's a good movie, it's $20 to get in the door. And if you want to buy some food, you're looking at another up to $20 for food. So it's $40 per person. And if the movie absolutely stinks, even 5 minutes in, you're not getting your money back. You might get a pass to come and see another crappy movie, but you don't. It's not like buying a shirt and it doesn't fit, or it's the wrong size or the wrong color, and you can change it for another one. It's not like that. My main problem with the whole Hollywood thing is if the movie sucks, you're out $40.
And I mean, that's a good point. And I don't know if necessarily that's so conjoined. Like I said, I'm more worried about movies that are viable. I mean, there's plenty of movies that are produced that, that fit within the mold of the industry, that, would be electable by the industry standards and by the Academy standards. Whether or not, the viability is being driven by their distribution deal, they don't necessarily have to be, we don't have to have two, Harvey Weinstein movies in contention every year. Mm-hmm. I'm not necessarily saying there's anything wrong with him per se, but I think, the breadth of what you look at, I think that the studios actually make a plan for the movies that they plan to be competitive. And certain directors, they pick their next projects predicated on that. I mean, they're really playing to their base. And that's why I said the constituency of the voting block could really change, their thinking in what needs to be produced and what people are actually going to see, and maybe more reflective of what people see. I mean, I don't know if you saw any of the interviews, pre-Oscar interviews, and people were asking people about the movies, and, the sampling group that they found, most people had not seen or heard of any of the movies that were in contention. Yeah. And so that's a weird reflection to me versus what you're talking about, the average moviegoer, and what they thought was really great this year, what people actually saw, versus the movie, two obscure movies that sometimes never really get out of the festival circuit, or at best have a limited release. So yeah, I mean, we need more movies that people like. And one time Will Smith, when he got up there, they asked him why he's not being nominated for more things, and he had a very genuinely realistic and truthful answer. His answer was that I make movies that people go see, and that's fair. I mean, he does make movies that people go see. So
that's kind of similar to what Eddie Murphy did back in the 80s and 90s. He had a couple of young children. He was making all these. They were great movies, but they were R-rated movies. He couldn't bring his kids to see them, so he started making the Nutty Professor, or the Dr. Dolittle movies, and the fun kids things, so that his friends and family could all go see them at once and not be separated by the PG or R rating of the movie. So that's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a lot of motivations for why people make the types of films they make, and I think some people get lucky. I think anybody who wants to work for Steven Spielberg at this point is just looking for an award. I mean, I don't really think he made many viable movies, to me, in, damn near 30 years, if I was being honest.
Yeah.
I just read Spielberg's doing some horror movie called Haunted, so hopefully it doesn't suck, but it's supposed to be like a retelling of some story called Turn of the Screw or something like that. I just saw that. Haunted.
Huh. Is that a Stephen King story?
No.
No, that's a way older story. I can't remember who wrote it, but that was probably from the early
it's
60s or something, right?
Medieval.
That's what Dick did. Turn of the Screw.
Medieval. I'm not sure. About the devil and stuff, or that's something the Screw type.
Oh, I have no idea on that one.
That's
Henry James.
The Turn of the Screw.
The Measured Turn of the Screw is by Henry James.
Henry James. But it's also
okay.
It's also like a famous line from Bleak House, a Dickens book, which I guess was where I have too many things in my head. So what was your favorite movie? I know Jamie's ever a fountain of recommendations. So are you, Jeff. I mean, you're definitely my two movie guys that we tend to all three be massive consumers. But we definitely all have our own palate. I mean, obviously Jamie watched more horror movies than probably the next 10 people I know combined. And so I always look to him for advice. And it was disturbing. You were talking about you just watched Spotlight. Well, I just watched The Visit. And, Jamie had given me previously his breakdown of The Visit, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. And I just never got around to watching it, but I watched it last night, very late at night with my kid. He's 14. And he, we watched this movie, and the whole time we're watching it, I'm thinking about, Jamie's review of the movie. Jamie said several things that really struck both of us as odd, because we had a conversation about this, that Jamie said the movie wasn't really a horror movie, that it was a comedy. And
it is.
It's a what?
The movie is so not a comedy. I mean, I'm like, my kid was like, he was seriously concerned for you, Jamie, because he was like, how could he think that's a comedy? I was like, I know. He's watched so many horror movies that he's probably legitimately a sociopath by now, because nobody could sit down and watch that movie and come away with a comedy.
It's hilarious. Structurally, it's set up, like a typical found footage horror movie, but the dialogue, the characters, to me, it was more balanced as a comedy, just due to, even a lot of the situations and stuff were more kind of comedy-based to me than horror-based. Like I said, obviously there are jump scares here and there. Maybe the last 15 minutes of the movie was relatively unnerving, but I don't know, it didn't strike me as a 100% horror movie.
I'm telling you, you have become completely without feeling. I mean, you become completely disconnected because, I mean, you were obviously watching stuff that I would never watch if you found that movie just like, nah, whatever. I was like, oh my God, Grandma's under the house. I mean, like Max looked like genuinely like, he, was second guessing, my judgment as a parent, why we were watching this movie at 3:00 in the morning. There were a lot of things going on. I mean, no, definitely, I definitely wouldn't. I found the entirety of it unnerving.
Did you not watch this, Jeff, The Visit?
Yeah, I watched it, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I thought it was a good comeback movie for him because he'd been making some stinkers. Like that Wahlberg one with the weird plant things, that was terrible. That was the most horrible thing I've ever seen. But I was surprised to see that he's about to remake Tales from the Crypt, I believe on, I don't remember which channel, TNT or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I'm really curious how that's going to turn out. I'm a big, I have all those Tales from the Crypt. I love it. So definitely I'm hoping he does a good job, but I think he will. I like, what was that, I forgot the name of it. The one that he did on Fox, I like, there was just one season. The show.
No idea.
Wayward Pines?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty good.
I watched a couple of them. I thought it was good. Weird.
I was upset they killed Juliette Lewis so soon.
I mean,
it's like the only hot chick in this whole show, just about. Like the second episode. Give me a break. But so, what did you both think of The Revenant?
I actually didn't see it, so I have no opinion of it whatsoever.
You haven't seen it?
No. I got a little tied up towards the end of the year with work, so I really missed a lot of the bigger Oscar releases this year.
You got to see The Revenant. That was really good. I bought the freaking book after seeing that.
Really?
Yeah, there's a Western.
I watched it twice with all my spare time. I decided I had to go back and reflect on it again after award season started and started sweeping everything. I was like, maybe I missed something. I mean, granted, the bear mauling scene was amazing. Like, I definitely felt like I was being mauled by a bear. But, I don't know. All in all, I found it kind of slow. I mean, to me, it was like a revenge horror movie that was just really slowed down and was in the woods. I recommend to anybody who wants to watch The Revenant to watch I Spit on Your Grave and be done with it.
It's just when it comes to Westerns, there aren't that many that are new. I mean, besides Hateful Eight and The Revenant, I enjoyed it, but I've heard people say it was slow, but I didn't have any trouble with it. I like the Native American stuff. I like Tom Hardy. I thought it was pretty good.
I love Tom Hardy. But there was Bone Tomahawk this year for you.
Yeah, I like that one way more than Derek.
I enjoyed
it.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. I can't remember the last time. I mean, it was probably Death Proof was the last time I didn't like a Kurt Russell movie because he's like Michael Keaton. Kurt Russell's in it, I'm going to watch it, and I'm probably going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's like scary now. He's like, we're going to get Obama out of the White House. I put up some article about him firing Obama.
Russell?
Yes. Yeah. He fired Obama because of terrorist stuff. And it was an article I posted, and it was a real article. He was doing anti-Obama stuff.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah. Gonna fire Obama. I like Bone Tomahawk. I thought Sid Haig should have been in it a lot more. He wasn't in it very long.
Yeah, it was good to see him. It's always good to see him pop up.
Yeah.
He always pretty much dies super quick unless it's a Rob Zombie film, but...
Those troglodytes. So why did you hate it, Derek?
I thought it was neither successful as a horror movie nor was it successful as a western. I actually like westerns. Like I spent a couple of years of my life in like a western blackout. Like literally, I got worse with westerns than Jamie got with horror. Like I became a huge western fan. Yeah, because I mean, if you think about like mid-century American cinema, I mean, it was really like a dominant form for such a long time. And I mean, the 60s it started losing favor. The 70s got picked up a little bit more. Certainly with the Peckinpah stuff and the spaghetti stuff. But it's really fallen off the wayside. And I agree with you. I love to see a new western come out. I'm always going to gravitate towards them. Just like a pirate movie. Me and Jimmy were talking about swashbucklers, adventure flicks. I want to see more movies like that. And unfortunately, these are types that I guess have just fallen out of favor. And they do kind of require money, too, because they're all like big set-piece movies. And that's not where they're putting set-piece movies. Everybody's going to space now. And I just said that like Kurt Russell, like get off my lawn. I don't mind that they're going to space. I just would like to see like some people on boats every now and then, old school. And I like people on horses. I don't know. That's why I watched the movie. Kurt Russell on a horse. That's why I watched the movie. Then I watched it, and it was not a good Western. It didn't have any of the cool, like, go-along Western stuff. And, the Patrick Wilson guy, I always found him creepy. Ever since the Ellen Page movie, I think that he's a pedophile. And I know that he's just out in the country, but for some reason I think he's diddling little boys somewhere along the way.
What are some westerns that you really like? What are some westerns that you really like?
Oh man, I'm a John Ford man. I mean, classics. Pretty much any western with Jimmy Stewart in it. I'm James Stewart all the way. Honestly, I just watch anything with James Stewart. Like, I'm the kind of person that watches It's a Wonderful Life in like April because I'm depressed. So, I don't know. There's something about him. I wish he was my dad. Maybe an uncle. And we could kick it, and I'd just like to hear him just with that voice, just, go off on people for me. But, but I like the methodology. I like that there's almost always like this weird, like, pent-up love story built into, most old westerns, and particularly ones from the mid-50s to the mid-60s. There's always some, like, lawlessness issue, whether, they're fighting bandits or whether they have to fight, the law itself. Like I say, I mean, pretty much if you watched any John Ford movie, you're going to be pretty satisfied. Even the ones that have, the big guy in it. Who's the one? John Wayne. And I'm not a fan of John Wayne. Yeah.
I like the Clint Eastwood. The Eastwood one's the best. And who's the Van Cleef dude? I like that dude. Van Cleef.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
What is his full name? Because I only remember the Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef, yeah, I like that. Those are good. Yeah, I like westerns too. There's some other one I just saw that came out and it had 3 stars at Bloody Disgusting. It was Kill or Be Killed, but I don't know how accurate that review was because I saw people complaining about it under the comments of it. But Kill or Be Killed is the new western that just come out, but I haven't seen it yet.
I'll tell you, the best western I ever saw, and still my favorite today, is Hang 'em High with Clint Eastwood. And, God, I can't remember his real name, but he played the skipper on Gilligan's Island. One of the best revenge westerns I've ever seen. If they make a remake, they better not screw it up. But that's kind of what's been going on in the chat room is, well, what do you guys think about all these remakes they're doing, especially when it's not a really good movie, but they remade it anyways, some of these things from the 80s. I think they're ruining a lot of good franchises with these remakes.
Like Point Break?
Yeah, like Point Break, exactly. Yeah, prime example.
Yeah, Poltergeist. Did anybody have to suffer through that 2 hours like I did?
I didn't even want
No.
Yeah, that was a shame. I don't even know why I would watch a Tobe Hooper remake, I know you probably disagree with that, Jamie.
No, I mean I don't have a problem with remakes. Honestly, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It can be done right. I mean Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead was one of the better remakes, and that's remaking my favorite horror movie of all time. And I had absolutely no problem with it. I actually really enjoyed that. So it can be done right. It's just that typically Hollywood's too lazy, to bother trying to do it right. They're just, basically looking to cash in on someone's, nostalgic response to something, that they love from their childhood. So that's typically why you get, just kind of garbage remakes. But, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
I'm trying to.
I don't think.
Oh,
I think it's got to be formally out of the zeitgeist first. And I think when you remake movies that are so culturally significant to people who are still in the main demo of moviegoers, I think it's kind of offensive, especially if the movies are renowned as good movies. I mean, do we need to remake The Goonies? I mean, do we really need to make Ghostbusters again? Whether or not it's female characters, I mean, do we have to do that? I mean, I don't really understand it. I think it's sort of a signal of the vacancy of ideas.
Well, they're not remaking Ghostbusters 3. It's a follow-up to the first two movies. It's written by Dan Aykroyd, and I forget the actor's name, but the guy who played Egon Spengler in the first two movies, he's recently passed away. He wrote the story, and it's just a follow-up. It's not a remake. It's not a do-over. It's the same universe.
They're making two Ghostbuster movies. Supposedly that one, I don't know if they're still making that one you're talking about. They're doing some other one with just chicks in it, and it has the Thor guy, I can't remember, Chris Hemsworth. He's like the little secretary dude or whatever, but I forget who that's by. That's by the guy that did like Bridesmaids or something, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the movie, though. Yeah, it's got that McCarthy lady in it from Mike and Molly and a couple of ladies from SNL. And the trailer looks bloody awful. I'm not enthusiastic. I'll watch it, but I'm not enthusiastic about it being any good.
Yeah, and I, that might be the spin that's out there on the story, but trust me, this is a franchise reboot, and there's only rhetorically is there a difference between those two things.
Yeah,
So it's just Ghostbusters with girls, and how invested Harold Ramis may or may not be, I don't really think that, I think he's probably going to be rolling over in his grave a little bit about it,
I'd have to agree, because before he passed away, there was a good rumor that the three of them are getting back. They were going to do this movie, but then he passed away, and it's rolled into what it is now.
And that sounds more legitimate. And Harold Ramis is somebody who did a lot of good work, post Ghostbusters. Well, even before Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
He was the Second City guy. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't see the necessity for it, I guess. Like I said, there's plenty of ideas out there. I just don't understand why. And I think a lot of it is that it's a cost-saving measure. The studio gets to reuse the idea. They still retain the rights. They can do whatever they want, and it's easy to capitalize on because it's like when people vote. It's like name recognition. Oh, look, they made another Ghostbusters.
That's exactly it.
People fall in there.
You definitely hit it on the head. That is the reason. It's more cost-effective for them to take an old franchise and ruin it completely, even with good intentions of not ruining it, instead of taking a brand new, untried idea and rolling the dice and see whether it's going to come up craps or a winner. That's the problem. Is they don't want to lose any money. But I mean, they're making money hand over fist. I mean, it cost them a couple $1 million to make a decent movie, up to maybe $20 million for a really high special effects movie, and then they make twice or four times that in returns from the theaters. And, take a role, take a crappy idea and make it good and maybe make something good instead of ruining old ideas and just rehashing the same stuff over and over. That's my problem.
And I totally agree with that. And I think the only people, I don't really think it's a studio head problem. I think that's an EP problem. That's money people problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of people that are going to put money down on a movie that they know is going to be a solid investment. I mean, there are exceptions to that. I mean, there's people like Mark Duplass and J.J. Abrams and Judd Apatow and people who I think definitely take risks within a degree, of safety. But I certainly think that they produce very, the top quality movies while still getting a fun factor, a popcorn factor. So, I mean, it's clearly possible, but these are also people who seem like they have a lot of ideas, and they're really, like, broad in the way they're looking at things. I mean, I guess there's an avenue for all of it, because I know people go to the movies to watch movies that, like Morris Chestnut movies. Like, there's people that go watch those movies. It's just not anybody I know. But I know there's millions that go watch that movie,
Yeah, that's why they keep making them, because people go to see them. It's just like crappy television. They keep making crappy television because people watch it. It's always going to have an audience for it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the only thing that's there. There's other choices besides going to the theater. I mean, with the way VOD's working now, it's good because a lot of these original ideas, these types of movies that you're talking about, have a fair shake, with getting distribution and releases, because people can sit at home, pay $4.99, and watch it on their television, and it gives them a chance to make money where they wouldn't actually probably make money in a theatrical release.
Right. Well, and also now, I mean, just if you think about just the weird abundance of production, I'll go back to Mark Duplass again. Like, if you see, like, somebody like this who's involved in, 4 TV shows, and he's making 10 movies a year, a couple of them he's directing, I mean, he's like one of those unknown figures right now to people, but they don't realize how many things that the Duplass brothers are actually producing that you watch.
For sure.
I started, like, counting up stuff, and I was like, okay, so this guy just makes everything I watch, and it's weird. And so, a guy like that who's so prolific, he's going to find, one outlet's going to pan out. I mean, he's got a lot of pots on the fire, but I think, to your point, and sort of in contrast to your point, you're right. They got this great opportunity. They have all these available marketplaces that people are going to invest money because the investment is small and the audience comes to them. So, you've got a great way to market things. The downside is that even somebody like me who's constantly trying to track media, I'm overwhelmed. I mean, it's constant stuff slips through my hands all the time. You'll tell me 5 shows I'm not watching that I should be watching, like, on any given month that I'm completely unaware of. And I'm somebody who's, like, constantly seeking out and trying to pare down, take the stuff that's not effective that's on TV or is derivative, get that out of my viewing and really kind of condense and concentrate, because there's so much that you can do that. But then there's also this giant haystack that we're now sifting through.
Sure.
If only somebody would come up with a great aggregation site that told you exactly what to watch at any given time. Jamie, can you hook a brother up?
I'm way too lazy for that, man.
It's like the Jelly of the Month Club. Like, it's like once a month I just get like a big package of stuff, and somebody's just got it figured out for me. By the way, patent pending.
Yeah, right.
I thought y'all were going to do a Rotten Brains or something like that.
Yeah, the Rotted Brains idea is certainly, it's still there. It's still on the Earl, but, it's time. We all work now. I mean,
unfortunately,
50, 60 hours a week, and then I've got 30 different television shows to watch, and it doesn't do it. There's not a lot of time for commentary in that scenario.
You could make YouTube videos of yourself just talking like you're doing now.
We really should.
I'm looking at this list, and I'm finding all kinds of stuff I've never heard of. There's one I just found called Embrace of the Serpent. The list you had, Derek.
Yes, sir.
Embrace of the Serpent, the story of the relationship between Kara Makati, an Amazonian shaman and last survivor of his people, and 2 scientists who worked together over the course of 40 years to search the Amazon for a sacred healing plant. Like, there's all kinds of weird stuff on here. I'd like to find out.
This was a very, very, very well received festival film. So there was a lot of noise about this, but you would have had to been in like Melbourne or Toronto to really feel the heat on that one.
Yeah.
But had you been, and that's why we should live in Toronto or Melbourne or someplace that has a significant film festival, because then it would be significantly easier. The bad thing about that circuit is you're going to go through 20 film festivals, and there's certain movies that get a lot of fever that, you'll find out in a couple of years are just not very good, So I've tried to wean myself off of, like, following that heat. You don't want to really watch, the movie that everybody's talking about at Kong, like, the week after Kong. You want to wait, like, a year and let it seep in and realize that, whoa, there was a lot of politicking that made this movie win, that much acclaim. Either that or they're in France, and between the women and the booze, they just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're rebooting Conan.
Again?
No, it's with Arnold, though, this time.
Oh, boy.
I'll watch that. He's gay.
They're saying
Conan's grandfather?
Conan.
They're gonna say it's like Unforgiven, the storyline, but Conan.
Huh.
I read that somewhere. But it's called Legend of Conan, and it's supposed to be like an Unforgiven kind of thing where I guess he's like retired. I'm not gonna fight anymore, and then something has to. And well, we're about to go on break for about 8 minutes. We got a couple of minutes. We're going to go ahead and go into the 8-minute break any moment now. You guys want to give away any links or anything? You're on. Or how about the radio show you do, Jamie? We'll come back and do
I'm a guest sometimes on a podcast called Inappropriate Commentary. This essentially, anytime I'm on there, that's all we do is talk about pretty much movies from the 80s or something that I just watched. So Inappropriate Commentary, you can subscribe to it on iTunes. Would appreciate any feedback and reviews or any subscribers.
Nice. All right. Well, we're going on break now. Just don't hang up, and then it'll be 8 minutes, and then we'll come back and do the rest of the show. So you guys just don't hang up, and we're going on break right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Each month on AARP Live on RFD TV, we take your calls and answer your questions on issues that matter to you and your family.
Plus information to help you discover real possibilities for life after 50.
On the next AARP Live, ever wonder how your identity could fall into the wrong?
Light Unite show every Friday night on United Public Radio Network from 9 to 10 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 to 1 a.m. Eastern Time, with your spiritual warrior goddess, Kathy Bilski. Kathy will share all the old truths the Illuminati tries to keep secret. Kathy also gives you the opportunity to join in with planetary healing light work that will help us manifest World Enlightenment 2016. So let's get high and fly into new possibilities. So join Kathy every Friday night on UPRN, the Quantum Leap Let Light Unite show. A very powerful happening.
The UPRN family of shows would like to take a moment to thank our loyal listeners for tuning in to uprntalkradio.com along with 107.7 FM New Orleans. Broadcasting on multiple platforms like Live 365, Ustream, and Shoutcast has made the UPRN the longest-running, highly rated, and best source of quality, unique programming that is not afraid of the status quo in alternative media. This station has a solid course of shows and hosts that refuse to get stuck in a rut or be overrun by a groupthink mentality, because station owner, host, and iCar founder Joe Montaldo knows the value of letting his talented stable of hosts grow uninhibited. In this genre, that's an accomplishment which many in alternative radio are striving for but are left consistently wanting. This is all made possible because of you, the listener, that tunes in live every night, who can tell the difference that independent thinking makes. The best way to show our appreciation is to thank you and continue to allow our listeners the ability to download the archives of all the shows free of charge on iTunes, Podbean, and SoundCloud. No monthly fees, no cost to download individual shows, and none of the constant hassling for donations. That's the UPRNradio.com difference. So stick around, there's much more to come with new shows on the way. For now, feel free to join your favorite show live in the Pal Talk chat room, easily accessible off UPRNtalkradio.com, and share the experience of listening live with other listeners from around the world. So thanks for listening, and thank you for being a part of the UPRNtalkradio.com family of listeners.
Whoa! Did you hear?
Listen to the Church of Mabus radio show, hosted by Jeffery Pritchett.
7
p.m. Eastern, Friday nights. Follow your weird and journey into the high strange. Be sure to stop by churchofmabusradio.com for upcoming shows, paranormal news, and show archives. That's churchofmabusradio.com. The Church of Mabus.
I'm stoked. I'm ready. This is awesome.
Welcome back to the Church of Mabus radio show. One thing I'm wondering about Mad Max Fury Road, it took him like 12 years to make that. Is it going to take him that long to make the other two he's supposed to be making? Is there going to be some sort of situation where it speeds up some? Because it takes him forever to make one of those movies. George,
well, it wasn't because of him. It was because of where they were filming. There was, a war going on, so they had to wait till everything died down so they could use the locations.
And trust me, Namibians need food.
The scenes and everything took him a while. Like, he would plan them out pretty well. I saw him interviewed by Robert Rodriguez on the El Rey channel. It's pretty good. on the El Rey channel. But let me see. I'm looking through the movies. What are some other movies that are must-sees that are on the list?
Anybody who hasn't watched The Big Short, I recommend it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, me too.
To me, it was the surprise hit of the year. The only one that really stuck out as a drama that was really both really important and really creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I need to watch it again. It's very deep, for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of information to process.
I've watched it 4 times.
Why are they calling it a love letter to Bernie Sanders?
Well, because it's definitely a truth to power movie. I mean, so if you wanna see what they're really doing, that's a good little movie to start with.
Yeah, definitely. And the guy. Spoiler alert, Christian Bale's character with water. Which is happening right now everywhere with, Flint, Michigan and everything, but God knows where else it's happening at that they're not even talking about here.
No,
with the water.
I've drank water in Florida. I don't recommend it.
I have a Brita filter.
When's the last time you changed the filter on that Brita?
Last month. Yeah, not too bad. I usually do it every few months. What else won some awards that are worth checking out? Oh, I saw that movie The Lobster. That was weird.
And I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, I've got it on the list, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, it's on the list.
They're like in this weird hotel, and if they don't meet with someone, they get turned into some specific animal. A lobster or a bear or a dog.
I know, as if we needed any more pressure in dating.
It was okay. I wouldn't say I'd watch it again, really. Oh, I know one I wanted to talk about. Me and Derek talked about Ex Machina. That's a rare gem, kind of like Snowpiercer, but I love that movie. What can you tell us about that?
Oscar Isaac is the greatest working actor today, and we should all immediately recognize that fact. And he and Chiwetel Ejiofor should be in every single movie in some capacity. And if you could slide Brendan Gleeson in there, I know he's a big gentleman, I'm going to watch that movie.
What other movies is that? You're talking about the guy in the glasses, right? That's the actor you're talking about? The main?
Yeah, the main guy in Ex Machina.
What else has he been in?
He had an HBO miniseries last year. It was really good. I can't remember the name, but it had a weird name.
I thought the robot lady was very mean at the end to that nerdy little geek guy. That was kind of mean. I was a little disappointed with that part. Well, I enjoyed the movie, though, but I'm not going to give the end away, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's really well made.
So cool.
You know, kind of like the slower science fiction that's been coming out now that's it's been really effective. You know, I like that style of film.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Who's the guy that made it?
It was Alex Garland.
Yeah, Garland.
He knew? What else has he done?
I think
he wrote a bunch of stuff. He wrote most of the screenplays for most of Danny Boyle's films.
Mm-hmm. 28 Days Later and Sunshine.
Yeah, The Beach and some other ones.
Well, I think he wrote the book.
That's his first directorial.
I think it was adapted. It was adapted off of his book On the Beach.
Oh, he wrote the book. Gotcha. Yeah.
When's that Danny Boyle King Arthur movie coming out? I really want to see that. King Arthur.
No idea.
I just hope there's no comedy in it or anything weird like that. But as far as they're supposed to be remaking Excalibur, which that's just terrible.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And Danny Boyle's making a Train Spotting sequel.
Yeah, I heard that, and he's doing the. Wait, no, am I getting people mixed up? Who's the guy that does the Sherlock Holmes stuff?
No, this guy Ritchie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think Ritchie's doing a King Arthur movie. Yeah, okay. He'll probably screw that
It's probably not going to be any good.
Yeah. I don't know who's doing Excalibur. Excalibur is one of my favorite movies ever. I love Excalibur.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
love it.
Yep. Definitely a classic. Not my favorite Borland movie, but it's up there.
I just got this set of Roger Corman Deathstalkers. You remember those movies? Deathstalker. Like a Conan kind of ripoff.
Oh yeah, Deathstalker. I do remember that. That was, yeah, those are they're pretty fun. I mean, for watching it and laughing at it, but they're pretty poorly made films.
I remember my dad watching them when I was a kid, and they were like just really disturbing to me as a kid for some reason. I haven't seen them since then, so I'm going to rewatch them and just see how I feel about them now. But they definitely look like low-budget Conan.
Well, it is Roger Corman, so.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun still, for sure. So I'm trying to look through the list here. I saw Black Mass. I enjoyed that. I don't think that win any awards?
No.
It won some festival awards.
I don't know if I should have won an award or anything, but I didn't hate it. What about Sicario? I know Derek's big on that one.
I loved it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not have a chance to watch it, so that's my immediate first movie that I'm watching tomorrow.
I loved it. It was really paced well and really taut. Good performances and well cast.
Is Rachel McAdams?
The movie did everything right. No, it was Emily Blunt.
Oh.
Yeah, Emily Blunt.
That's pretty nice too.
She was fantastic in it. I mean, she has got like that tough thing down. I don't know how a skinny British lady could be that convincingly tough, but she's working it.
Definitely. I need to watch that too. I have it. I just need to watch it. Well, what are some other new movies coming out this year that are supposed to be good? Like, I can't think of anything, but the only one I can think of is The Witch that I really want to see.
Yeah, I don't know of a whole lot that's coming out. I mean, the outside of just the big, the comic book movies and stuff like that, I don't really know a whole lot that's coming out.
That Cloverfield with John Goodman's getting pretty good reviews. That surprised me. I'm reading about that's getting pretty good reviews. What's that?
I was just about to mention that. Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. That looks really good.
Yeah, it does. There's a new Eric Snowden movie coming out. Of course, the new X-Men. They're never gonna. Sony's never gonna give that one up. So,
no.
I mean, I'm excited about Finding Dory, but that has a lot to do with the fact that I live with a 7-year-old.
Finding who?
Dory.
Finding Dory, the sequel to Finding Nemo.
Goodness.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys? I know you guys are gamer people. What do you think about the World of Warcraft movies coming out?
I'm excited for that. I saw the trailer when I saw Star Wars. It looks good. I've been playing the game. I don't have the latest one, but I started with the first 3 versions of that game. It looks good.
It actually does look like it might be good, surprisingly. The dude from Vikings is in it, but it looks better than I thought it would. I know Sam Raimi was going to be involved in that, but I don't know if he was still involved. Maybe a producer or something.
No, it's all what's his face, Duncan Moon, is kind of took the reins over from Sam Raimi when he dropped out, and kind of completely changed everything I think that Raimi was planning to do. But it looks a little generic to me, but I'm hoping there's a lot more to it than what they did in the trailer. So I'm holding judgment. I'm not gonna be too hasty because that guy makes good movies, so I don't think it's gonna be a dud.
What else has he made?
I think the effects are going to be incredible. I mean, judging by the extended trailer I watched, it looks like everything's going to look really cool, at least.
Ragnar's in it from Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Ragnar. What other movies?
I can tell you the trailer that I saw, other than The Witch, the two best trailers I've seen lately was The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys looks like there's going to really be something there. That new Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling movie.
Yes. The new
quite point.
Shane Black movie.
Yeah, the new Shane Black movie.
Yes,
it's going to be good.
Yes.
I mean, everything about it feels like it's going to be as good as possibly Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I don't know, but it feels like it could be as good as that.
I forgot about that one.
What's the new Shane Black movie called?
Nice Guys.
Nice Guys. Okay. That's the guy who plays going to be playing Punisher, right? In Daredevil.
No. It's like a murder mystery movie with, that's about some porn star, and it's this really unlikely pairing of guys. It's Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
You're gonna hear a lot about it over the next couple of months because this movie's already starting to get a push, and it's not coming out until summertime.
Right.
And a big push. So if you haven't heard about it yet, you're going to see it soon popping around. And obviously the movie of the day right now is Hardcore Henry. Everybody wants to see this fast action crank style POV, first person shooter movie. I don't even know how to describe it.
Who's doing that? I've heard a lot of buzz about that.
Hardcore Henry? Who's doing that one, Jamie?
I have no idea who's directing it, but it's all over the place right now.
Yeah, it's the big one that
cool shooting. Well, who's the guy that plays Daredevil? I mean, not Daredevil. The guy that plays Punisher in the Daredevil, and he was in Walking Dead. What's that guy's name? That actor?
Thomas Jane?
No,
not Thomas Jane. It's what's his face? Shane something. The guy that played Shane in Walking Dead. I can't remember his name.
Second one, yeah, the second Punisher.
Well, he's going to be the Punisher in the new Daredevil season.
Yeah.
I saw the previews for that. It looks amazing. I'm more excited for that than any superhero movie coming out this year. I'm more excited for Daredevil season 2.
Is Daredevil coming out today? Isn't Daredevil dropping today on Netflix?
No, it's the 18th.
18th.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew you were right upon it. I knew I had to clear out a Sunday.
I wonder if Jeff's going to be naked in it.
Yeah. Hardcore Henry is directed by Ilya Naishuller.
Bless you.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of it.
It's supposed to be good, though. But, new Trailer Park Boys season.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming in a couple of months, right?
No, this month. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's this month.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I will say something else I'm really looking forward to. This going straight to Netflix is the new Pee Wee Herman movie.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that trailer. I thought it looks really like a good spiritual successor to Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
I like the first two. They were funny as hell.
Yeah, they're great. I still love them. So I am like really looking forward, and that's just a couple of weeks away too, I think.
Ooh, was that just going to be like a 2-hour movie or something?
Oh yeah. It's just a brand new Pee Wee movie. Yeah.
Who's the guy from Eastbound and Down? Brian McBride. I read he was going to be in a new Alien movie. That was kind of surprising.
Danny
McBride? Danny McBride. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny McBride. Yeah.
He's always funny. I mean, I'm even a fan of Your Highness, which is weird.
That movie was. I liked that movie, but it was definitely weird. That was a good movie, though. But he's going to be in Alien Covenant, which isn't that the sequel to Prometheus?
Yeah, I think that's the one that's Ridley Scott's doing.
Yeah, because they didn't want to call it Prometheus again, I guess. I don't know. They don't think Prometheus did as well as they thought it was going to do, or something. Because it's Prometheus Part 2, but they're calling it Alien Covenant.
Yeah, coming out next year.
Well, Prometheus was a prequel to the Aliens movies. So,
yeah.
You know, I think there's movement on it because Michael Fassbender, you know, he survives Prometheus and he goes on from that movie. I think it's partially a genesis story for the Aliens franchise. So, I mean, it makes sense that they would continue on with that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ridley Scott himself said he tried to say that it wasn't a prequel, but it really is.
I think so. I definitely think it's a genesis story for, you know, whatever they're called. I can never remember what these things are called.
Predator.
What are the things called? What are the aliens called?
Oh, the xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs, yeah.
Xenomorphs. Predator.
See, that's another thing. That's a shame.
Reboot Predator. I guess the Robert.
That could be okay because that's also going to be Shane Black and Fred Decker is involved in that as well. Who's the guy who did in the '80s? He did Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the new Predator. It's a pretty cool combo.
Yeah, I mean that definitely could be good.
It deserves it for sure, and they're saying Arnold might be in it again. And I love Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps, but I'm looking forward to that too, definitely. Oh sure. So what's up with your opinion on CW? I can't watch hardly anything on that station at all. I tried to.
I probably watch way too much on that station.
That's scary.
No, Jamie, that's what this whole thing is about. This is a very complex intervention on you and weird CW habits.
I know.
Look, I'm never ever going to apologize for liking Supernatural. I don't care what anyone says. I love it, and I will continue watching it until they stop it.
Yeah, it is a great show, and they got The Flash, which is really good, and they have not the Guardians of the Galaxy, but the Heroes of Tomorrow, whatever, which is a spinoff from Flash, which is also really, really good.
Yeah, I dig Flash a lot. I think it's probably the closest that you'll ever come to the actual Flash comics in screen form, just because it's, you know, it's completely over the top and silly, but it's also a lot of fun to watch, you know, so I like that show a lot too.
And a lot of those characters, the actors also who play those characters are going to be in one of the Justice League movies. I think they all have cameos in the upcoming Batman versus Superman, and then they're in Justice League Part 1. So that's pretty good. And there's another Flash movie coming out in 2018 with another actor in the Flash role, but I don't know how that's going to be. It's still in pre-prod right now.
Yeah, they'll probably just switch it from Barry Allen to whatever the other guy.
Yeah,
I don't even remember the other Flash's name.
Wally West, maybe.
Wally, yes, Wally West. That's it.
There's just something off about that channel. The only way they would get me is if they really do the Friday the 13th show like the right way, which I'm not counting on it.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Yeah, don't count on it.
Basically, I will watch it though to see how it is, and they could pull it off, but there's something overtly feminine about that channel.
It's just because you're uncomfortable with
17-year-old girls. And James, apparently
you're uncomfortable with hot guys, Jeff. That's all it really is.
Rain and Vampire Diaries, and that's it. And what, My Heart's in Alabama or something.
In the chat room,
not watching the right day of the week.
In the chat room, one of our listeners, Gabe, suggested that maybe the new Flash movie is the Jay Garrick Flash, the very first one with the metal helmet.
Oh, it's very true. Yeah, it could be. That'd be a pretty interesting way to go with it, for sure.
I'd have it on IMDb, but I don't think they really say what the character's name is. They just have the actor as the Flash, and that's Ezra Miller, the actor, but they don't have his secret identity up there.
Huh.
Well, it mentions Barry Allen, so I don't know. Maybe it's Barry Allen. And just another reboot, I guess.
So if any of you watched the El Rey channel, I love that channel.
I did when I had cable. I watched it a lot. It's because they always showed I Come in Peace like 700 times a day, and that movie is awesome.
He does show some good stuff on there, but he does weird stuff like he keeps showing episodes from shows that are dead, like that V remake, Constantine. It's like he's buying up shows that died, playing them on there. It's kind of weird.
I actually thought the V remake was the original V series.
Say that again.
I thought the new V, the reboot, was way better than the original series, and I saw them both. It had Marina Backer in it. How bad could it be?
Crazy. I love the first one. The second one was terrible.
It had better effects.
I have the first one. We need good alien stuff. There's not much anymore. There's that new show, Aliens. I haven't seen it yet, but we were talking about that last night, but I haven't watched it yet. But it's one of those BBC shows or something. But we need some good, need more Sasquatch movies.
Yeah. Good ones.
Real good ones.
Probably not.
So
I think Harry and Anderson said it all. You know what I'm saying?
There's some horror ones. What do you think of Willow Creek?
I mean, I kind of like Willow Creek. I thought it was interesting that Bobcat Goldthwait did a horror movie. So that's the reason I watched it. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. It was effective.
I was a little disappointed in the end of it, but it was still good. I liked all the folklore and the singing about Bigfoot and all the folklore and stuff, and going to Willow Creek. But Bobcat Goldthwait, that God Bless America movie, is one of my favorite movies ever. I love that movie.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun for sure.
The guy that snaps and starts, I think he kills a right-wing radio show host. And then, bars, and I love that. That movie's like a gem. A gem indeed. Love it. Well, what are some of your favorite movies of all time? Like, I remember watching that Dune movie with you guys, I think, for the first time. Yeah, I believe. I watched that in Athens.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time is the first Dune, the David Lynch version.
Well, Jamie first and then Derek, what are some all-time favorite movies of all time?
Man, I don't know, like probably top 5, maybe in no order. I would have to say Repo Man, Goodfellas, Dawn of the Dead. Top 3. That's about all I can pull out right now. Just kind of a tough question, but those are probably the 3 movies that I've probably watched more than any other movies my entire life, and I can pretty much put them in any time and watch start to finish and still love it.
Well, Repo Man, Dawn of the Dead, and what else?
Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas, okay.
Yes.
Definitely all great gems for sure. What about you, Derek?
For me, I have to distill it to like a couple of movies.
That's where I got hung up.
I mean, I think for me, the best movie I've ever seen, like pound for pound, is Apocalypse Now. I mean, it's certainly the movie that I've watched more than every movie ever. I mean, I went through 2 years of my life that I watched Apocalypse Now every single day.
That's true.
Every day I watched Apocalypse.
That's true.
And and those were good years. No, those were great years. I mean, everybody in it's fantastic. It is Francis Ford tops his game. I think he's, arguably at least there for 20 years. I mean, he had to be the reigning director for me. Even his new stuff still hits me. Obviously Kubrick, but it's hard for me to say what I like. I'm a huge Clockwork Orange fan. The Shining. Of course, I think Unforgiven, even though it's a new Western, definitely in my top 5 Westerns of all time.
What are your top 5?
The Shining. It's in my top 5 Westerns of all time. Unforgiven, I mean, just amazing. I really like those, what was that movie? Everything is Illuminated. Really love that movie for some reason. The Remains of the Day, Once We're Warriors, definitely up there in my top. There's too many. Dot.
Everything
What do you think? What do you think? I'm sorry?
Oh, Everything Illuminated, Once We're Warriors. What was the other one?
Remains of the Day.
Okay.
Yeah, I went into a trance. I mean, I know Apocalypse Now and Unforgiven were in there. The Shining, Clockwork Orange. I mean, like
what is
movies.
Remains of the Day?
The Remains of the Day. It's weird. It's this Anthony Hopkins movie where he's like a bellman, or he's like a servant in like Victorian England. I guess it's not really Victorian because it's actually in early 19th century England, and it's just this really restrained love story. I don't know why I like it. A lot of it has to do with Anthony Hopkins for me, and a lot of it has to do with just like this really wonderful pacing of the movie. I don't know what it is. It's just him and Emma Thompson, and they're kind of like, it's sort of a May-December type romance. They both work in the same house, and they're both like, very stiff upper lip, stoic British people, and they're servant class, so they're like even especially so. So, they never really voice any of their true feelings to one another, and it takes this long period of time to unwind. I don't know, there's something really good about it. I can't describe why. I probably have 5 Anthony Hopkins movies that I think are just unbelievable. I mean, like The World's Fastest Indian, I watch that movie like once every couple of, I don't know, at least once a year. And the movie that Anthony Hopkins himself made, I don't know if anybody's ever seen Slipstream, but that movie is amazing.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
It's definitely a weirdie. There's one where he's got this ventriloquist dummy. Isn't that called Black Magic?
Yeah, that's Black Magic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think so. Something Magic. Is it just called Magic?
Maybe it's just called Magic.
Yeah,
because I don't think it's Black Magic.
I can't remember, but for some reason I was thinking of that movie just now.
It is. It's just called Magic. That's
called
the
Magic.
One. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What are the other Westerns, Derek?
Like I said, I mean, you can never go wrong with the John Ford Western. As far as remakes, as a callback to a previous discussion we had, I mean, the Coen Brothers remake of True Grit, to me, was far superior to the original. That's like one of those rare occasions where I will say far superior to the original and worthy of a remake, because there's enough time, like my granddad was already dead. He didn't have to see that happen. You know what I'm saying? and so that's why I don't get why people in their 40s would be excited about a movie when they were 10 being remade that they love. There's no damage that experience of Sully the original. I mean, let us die first. Save Ghostbusters when we're dead. I mean, is that too much to ask?
That Western called Blueberry.
Oh, with Vincent Castle?
Yeah, and Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty weird movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the classic, The Searchers. I don't know if you've ever seen The Searchers. There's some that a lot of
really
people
good.
know, like The Big Country, which is just amazing. The original 3:10 to Yuma, far superior to the remake.
What's The Big Country?
The Big Country, it's like a Gary Cooper movie. It's got James Stewart in it too. I don't really know. I mean, it's like a very typical Western. I mean, exactly what you'd expect, but it's really
an older one,
really.
though, right? Yeah, it's older.
Yeah, excuse me, I was wrong. It's a Gregory Peck, but it's a William Wyler who's also like somebody just like John Ford. You could basically go through his movies, and he made a succession of fantastic westerns. Who was it? Arthur Hill. He made some really great westerns in the 70s. Obviously, Sam Peckinpah. He had a couple of really fantastic ones. I mean, there's westerns. I mean, that would warrant a whole show in and of itself, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Jamie could probably say the same thing about 80s slashers.
One of my favorite movies of all time is True Romance. I love that movie.
That's great.
Tony
we were just talking about Tony Scott the other day.
Yeah, we did have a pretty long conversation about the Scott brothers.
Yeah, Tony Scott and who else? Oh, Ridley Scott. Yeah. I love True Romance. It's one of my favorites for sure. I've seen that a ton of times. Oh, sure. How did Tony Scott? Didn't he kill himself?
Yeah.
The Golden Gate Bridge or something?
Yeah, I think so.
God.
It was a shame.
Yeah, that's sad.
That was the only way he could get out of his studio contract. I know it's too soon. I'm going to get flack on the chat room over that one.
Didn't he tell Washington movie about a train or something? That was his last movie or something, wasn't it?
Unstoppable. It's amazing.
It's fantastic. Yes.
I can't even believe it. I
totally
watched the movie like 5 times. Even my kid, he was like, Unstoppable.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
He also did some TV movie. I can't remember what it was though, but I came across it. It was some TV movie that I meant to watch. I'd have to look it up on IMDb, but that was one of his last things he did too. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure it's on his IMDb. Did they ever say why he offered himself?
Good Wife?
I mean, what was it called?
I mean, he was producer on The Good Wife.
No, there was another one. I'd have to look it up. Did they ever say why he killed himself, though, or anything like that, or any backstory?
I think it had something to do with cancer.
Let me find that show. Let's see if I can find it on IMDb.
Yeah, he's got 50 producer credits. He's got a few things that are announced, I guess, posthumously, some TV shows or movies, I don't know what, but he's got 3 things in process right now.
Tony Scott does?
Tony Scott, yeah. Emma's War, Potsdamer Platz, and Sydney Hall. Pre-production. Yeah, and they're 2 are announced and 1 is in pre-production.
He must have did them and they're coming out now or something.
Well, I don't think he really did them. I think he money man in those projects, but...
Oh, here it is. Coma. That's what it was. Coma. Oh, he was just the executive producer. Some TV series.
Unstoppable was the last movie that he legit did.
Yeah,
you know,
that's correct.
Like involved with.
They're doing a Bad Santa too. Bad Santa's my favorite Christmas movie ever. Badder, of course, not a Bad Santa. I never understood on that movie they made a Bad Santa that was like PG, and then spinned it, and there's like a unrated version. It's like a kids movie, and then there's like a flip side unrated crazy version that's totally different from the kids movie.
I don't think I ever saw a kid's version of Bad Santa. The only one I saw was the legit Bad Santa version.
Yeah, I never saw the Bad Santa. There's Badder Santa, and then there's Bad Santa. Bad Santa, maybe it's PG-13, the Bad Santa one is, but the Badder Santa is unrated.
Oh,
But
so one was
are
probably theatrical and one was probably the DVD release.
It was.
Yeah.
Badder Santa was just uncut for DVD.
I have to watch that movie every Christmas.
Yeah, Bad Santa 2 has Christina Hendricks in it, so it can't suck.
Who's in it?
Christina Hendricks. She's really tall, redheaded, gorgeous lady.
Oh, yeah.
From Mad Men.
Yeah, from Mad Men. Yeah, exactly. I got a question for you guys, and I don't know how you feel about this, but this kind of irks me a little bit. They're rebooting Batman for the third time with Ben Affleck, and I'm not optimistic about it. They've rebooted Spider-Man. They're about to do a third one with a third actor, but Superman and Spider-Man with the two English actors. To me, that's like tantamount to an American actor being Doctor Who. How do you feel about giving a really iconic American role to an English actor?
Honestly, I don't. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, it wouldn't bother me if American did Doctor Who, you know, and had a British accent if it was a good enough British accent.
I don't think you're allowed to have that inverse opinion.
That's okay.
I think
that's okay.
That was microaggression against United Kingdom.
Look at The Walking Dead. That thing's filled with British people. They're doing a good job, so hey.
Yeah, they do American accents better than Americans do, but
British people, we're going to build a wall.
And the French are going to pay for it. But also with Henry Cavill, I thought he was pretty cut. I mean, he's a pretty strong-looking dude for the Superman. And I hope I don't spoil it for anyone, but at the end, he snaps General Zod's neck, and I think the creators of Superman, he never killed in any of his comics, as far as I know, not intentionally, except for like Darkseid, I believe, but they kind of kill each other. So how do you feel about actually making Superman?
Zod's still alive.
Huh?
Zod's still alive. He's coming back. There's more Michael Shannon to come.
Oh, okay. Well, so they made Superman kill, and I think that was against
fashion. Big characters never die.
Even so, they still made him kill, or they made it appear like he killed, and Superman has never had to kill because he's so strong. That's how he was created, so I just kind of have an issue with that.
Well, I mean, I read a little bit of Superman. I mean, I definitely liked, John Byrne Superman, where, at least it took a semblance of a darker note with the character. I mean, not anywhere near to the extent that Frank Miller had with Batman. I guess I don't have any problem. I certainly don't have any problem with the guy who's playing Superman now. I think he's perfectly appropriate. I do have a huge problem with Ben Affleck playing Batman.
Yeah, Bat Affleck. I'm not enthusiastic about that at all. But we'll see the Superman versus Batman movie first. See how he does. Then he gets his own Batman right after that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a lot like Ben Affleck, which is my fear.
Probably.
I'm afraid he screwed up Daredevil. I mean, he was terrible in the Daredevil. So
I never liked Superman. I just don't. I'll watch the movie, but it's like I root for the villains.
Yeah.
I always do too.
They always leave out like the really cool villains. Superman. They need Bizarro in the movie, Brainiac, and all that stuff. When are they going to put those things in the movies? Those are like the cool villains, Superman. Need some Bizarro and Brainiac.
They're probably not, because those characters are inherently silly, and DC's definitely going more of a dark, kind of brooding route with a lot of what they're doing right now.
It's funny Jeff brought that up. I don't know if you guys are watching the new Supergirl show, but they've had on that show already Supergirl and female Brainiac, and they were both. So
it's hard for me to watch CBS.
I'll tell you this much: the new Supergirl show is okay. It's a decent attempt, but the girl, and she's beautiful, that's playing Supergirl, does not know how to stage fight, and she is horrible. She's like a complete klutz. She does not look like she knows what she's doing. So I hope they fix that for season 2 and give her some better, martial arts training or something, because she doesn't look like a kid trying to, street fight a tree. But that's what she looks like. But the show it's not a bad attempt. It could be better, but it's decent.
They'll cancel it.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's going to get canceled. I think it's doing pretty well. I mean, they're even doing, which I actually like that they're doing this. They're doing a CBS CW crossover with Supergirl and the Flash.
Yeah.
So they just, they don't do stuff like that anymore on TV. So I thought it was a pretty cool idea.
It's got you percolating.
They have to do something.
They may be doing the Flash Supergirl crossovers to try to save the Supergirl show. Maybe it's to save the Flash show. I think the Flash show is strong, so it's probably more to say Supergirl. But I like both shows, but I think the Flash is way, way better.
They probably own CW and they're trying to save CBS.
Or CBS is trying to save CW. It goes either way.
Yeah, I think the Big Bang Theory is about all CBS has going for it lately.
Yeah, I don't like that show.
I don't watch it.
It's horrible.
I don't think I watch any show on CBS.
I just started Bates Motel new season. I like Bates Motel a lot.
And the CW is owned by CBS, for the record.
Oh.
Yeah.
Conspiracy. But Bates Motel Norma is really hot. The chick, what's her name? I never can say her name, but her daughter was in American Horror Story, or her sister.
Yeah, Vera Farmiga.
Vera Farmiga, yeah.
I'm starting to get the impression that Jeff only watches shows predicated on if there's a hot girl in the show.
It depends on how many hot girls are in the show.
I paused Jessica Jones so many times.
In 30-second intervals.
Jessica Jones, baby. Yeah, Jungle Fever. Most anticipated show is Rick got Jungle Fever too from Walking Dead now. Rick Michelle. Jungle Fever going on all these shows.
Yeah,
the show I'm most excited about, that's about to start, is definitely Daredevil and the Punisher. I can't wait for that. I'm excited. Well, guys, we're down to about 3 minutes. You got any closing statements or anything?
No, dude, just thank you for allowing us to come on and run our mouths. It was fun.
It was fun, Jeff. Thanks.
You're welcome.
It's always good to talk about this.
We'll have to get you back on another time for sure. I'm kind of sickish, but the show must go on, so I didn't want to miss it. Well,
and I do have a final point that I have to make. And me and Jamie, we conferred amongst ourselves, and I think we've agreed, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, James, that we do think the best movie of 2015 was Kung Fury, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
I saw that on El Rey. It was really good. It was like 15 minutes, but that guy needs to make
it was a perfect 15 minutes.
Is he gonna make movies?
You have to think he's definitely going to make something.
Right. Yeah.
That was about a time traveler, Hitler, villain, and Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah.
And Triceratops.
Triceratops, yeah. I need to watch that one again. I saw it last year. Well, we appreciate it. Everybody, thanks for listening. Next up is Supernatural Substation. Who's next week? Peter Panagore. We're going to be talking about the afterlife. The afterlife. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you all next Friday. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Jay. Thanks,
everybody.
Good night.
And good night.
Pushing harder. You're so quick to give up on pushing. Excuse me?